What did the RNGesus say to the loot farmer? God roll was just a myth told by YouTubers. Ha ha, dag joke of the day. What is going on, Dags? Today I have a video that includes everything that I do for farming and getting lots and lots of XP. The great thing about being able to efficiently farm for your loot is that you're going to leave your stash looking like a graveyard for loot that you're never going to use. In this video, I'm going to talk about open world, the summit, countdown, and as a bonus I threw in the loot goblin, aka the hoarder, and the 2 secret vendors. If you're new to the channel, welcome to d.a.g gaming. I'm your host Nox, where my favorite thing to do is respawn. This video is going to be geared towards new agents and returning agents that haven't played in a while, and if you do find anything in this video helpful, make sure to give a like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. When it comes to farming and the difficulty, the quantity does not matter, but the quality will. And what I mean by that is if you're farming on a lower difficulty like hard, the minimum range of the attributes on the loot drops is going to be lower. That being said, you still can get god rolls on hard difficulty. It'll just be a lot harder as the range is going to be more vast, and each difficulty that you go up in, the quality of the loot is going to go up as well, as the minimum attributes is going to slightly shift to the right. So playing on heroic and legendaries, you will notice that you do tend to get a lot higher statted loots, but definitely keep that little tad bit in mind when you are farming. And when it comes to exotics, the higher the difficulty that you play on, the greater the chances that you can get one. Before we get into the sections, I want to talk about how I have my world set up, and I do have a separate video detailing the step-by-step process doing what I'm about to show you, but the quick gist of it is that I did not do any of the side missions. As you can see, a lot of them are still available. I only did the side missions for like control points, and the reason why I did it like that is that I could control where my bounties go, and also the main thing is that you can play through New York and do all the missions, except you do not want to finish the last mission with Aaron Keener, and by not fully finishing New York, you're going to end up getting double experience on certain things, with the addition that the targeted loot drops will be doubled sometimes. And what do I mean by double XP and some things? Head to the quartermaster, tab over to perks, move over to the accolades, and here's all the different accolades that you get bonus XP on. And if you have your world set up like I do, what ends up happening is that when you get a headshot kill, it's actually going to count as 2 headshot kills, so you're going to get double XP pretty much on that. The multi-kill accolade is going to count for every single enemy, even if you only kill 1. Normally you'll notice that if you do a control point, your multi-kill total might only be like ×1, ×2, but in my world I get multi-kill XP for each and every single enemy that I kill. And for the other accolades, they're kind of hit or miss. Sometimes I'll get more for the weak points, tactical kills accolades, and sometimes in encounters, the survivor bonus XP will count multiple times. I might get like ×3, ×4 survivor for doing 1 control point, where typically you would only get the survivor at the end of an encounter. Alright, let's go check out what I mean by getting the extra XP on the accolades. Alrighty, let's take out 1 enemy and run away. Boom. I got 1 headshot and it counted as 2 headshot kills. Now let me get out of combat. And you just saw I just got multi-kill XP when I only killed 1 enemy. Let's try it again and make sure it wasn't a fluke. Kill 1 enemy. Let's run away, get out of combat. And again, I got multi-kill XP and 2 headshot kill XP. So that's why you definitely want to set up your world this way, because you're going to get a crap ton of extra XP and it's going to make your farming even faster. And additionally, during the XP events, all that extra XP that you're getting having your world set up like this is also going to get multiplied by ×3 or ×5 or whatever it is. Alrighty, Dags, now that I've shown you how that bonus XP works with my world, and if you want to set up your world the same way that I have mine set up, check out that video that I made. Without further delay, let's get into my farming techniques. For this portion of the video, we are going to talk about how I farm the open world, specifically doing public executions, rescue operations, and stacking bounties. I currently have my world set to heroic with 5 directives. If we take a look at public executions under the reward section, you can see that we're going to get almost 520,000 XP for completing it, and doing public executions is fairly quick. You have the initial wave plus then 1 additional wave shows up. Additionally, if you do a rescue operation, it's going to be the same setup. There's there's going to be one wave and then one additional wave. And once you eliminate all the enemies and picked up the drop key, you'll be rewarded a nice chunk of XP plus a bounty. And another way to get bounties is if you find a snitch. Some of the locations where I go to get the snitch is right over here. This is another location where I go to look for the snitch. He's really close to this location as well. So if I'm ever in an area where the snitch usually hangs out, I'll go and check and pick up the bounty that he drops. I'll pick up the bounty to add it to my stack of bounties that I have for a later time. And when you're in this map, you can tab over to bounties. And here you can see where you currently have active bounties. So let's take a look at a bounty. If you look over at the rewards section for a heroic bounty, with the 5 directives that I have on currently, it's going to give me 660,000 XP, plus the big list of rewards. Notably, you will also get a faction lockbox key. For example, this hyena bounty, I will get a hyena faction lockbox key. Doing bounties is a great way to get named items, as named enemies have a greater chance to drop named items, and also they have a better chance to drop in exotics. Notably, the chameleon exotic assault rifle tends to drop more often from bounty named bosses, so if you're looking for the chameleon, this is a great way to get it. When you are looking at your map, you can press up and it's going to show you all the targeted loots. With that knowledge, you can strategically farm those zones for whatever targeted loot you are looking for. For example, downtown west targeted loot is chest pieces, meaning that when you complete activities in this region, for example public executions or bounties, you'll get a better chance to get a chest piece as the bonus item drop. And if we hover over public executions, you can see under rewards you'll get the equipment item. And the way that works is when you complete this activity, you will get that targeted loot drop. And to increase the chances of the targeted loot to drop, you can open up your global settings, hover over change global directives, and you can see that for each directive that you have, you get bonus XP, and each active directive slightly increases the chance for a targeted loot item to drop alongside a normal loot drop. And because I'm playing with 5 directives, I'm going to get the best chance to get bonus loot. So try to play at the highest difficulty that you can with the most directives on that you feel comfortable playing. That way you can level up faster and have a higher chance to get more loot. Another thing to keep in mind is that during global events, like currently we have the SHD Expose event going on. Doing this open world farm with bounties is a great way to get a lot of extra red stars, because the quicker you're able to do open world activities and bounties, the more levels you get, hence the more red stars that you'll get. And you can run over to the stand right here to spend those red stars. Make sure you spend your red star credits because they will go away once the event ends. Alrighty DAGs, now that I hit all the key points for doing this open world farm, let's go ahead and get some public executions. We have one up here, so I'm going to fast travel to this classified assignment. And if you want to unlock a classified assignment as a fast travel point, you just have to find a door and interact with it. You don't actually have to complete it, all you have to do is interact with it. And there are a bunch of different classified assignments throughout the map. You definitely want to unlock them, because the more fast travel points you have on the map, the easier it will be for you to travel around and farm. Hopefully these are outcasts. I'm not a big fan of hyenas, not on one-tap builds because of all the helmets that they have. Once you eliminate all the hostiles and both the hostages are still alive, you can interact with them. And when you do, you'll complete the objective and you'll get a bounty. So make sure you pick it up. And you saw that I got 518,000 XP. It's a nice chunk right there. And if you're not ready to do the bounties, all you have to do is open up your map, hover over the bounties, press the go to details button, and then hold the abort bounty, and it's going to abort it and save it for later. Now let's see if there's any other public executions we can do. All right, we got one right there. So we're going to fast travel to the checkpoint entrance right here. And if you fast travel to the DZ main entrances, it won't actually take you inside of the DZ. So keep that in mind because there's 3 more fast travel points on the map that you have access to. Okay, we're at the next public execution. So let's get it done real quick. And here comes the next wave. They're coming down here. Nope, they're coming back here. Alrighty, that was super quick. Let's go back to the hostage. They both survived, so we can get a bounty now. As you saw, that was super quick and we got 518,000 XP. That's why doing public execution is one of the quickest ways to get XP and levels in the open world. And just like before, open up your map, hover over the bounty, view details, and abort it. Alrighty, I think I have enough bounties now, so let's go actually to the bounty spot that I like to farm. And the bounty spot that I like to farm is right here because the enemies only come out of 2 doors right here and right over here. So you don't have to run around all over the place, up and down, through doors, through buildings, elevators, and all that crap. You can just do the bounties here and the enemies are just going to come out of the same area. So here's the bounty location that I like to farm. Here it is on the map again. So the enemies will come out of this door right here. And they will also come out of the door over here. This door right there. And when you are fighting the enemies, try not to go too close to this door right here. That way they'll keep coming out of this door. Because if you run really close to it, there's a chance that they might come out of that door and you'll just end up running back and forth. But if you stay behind cover, like right over here, over here, or I like to come up in this spot right here, you can just keep killing them. You can also run up here if you want. This is a pretty good spot as you're going to have the high ground. And you could get the right angle on them where they can't really shoot at you, but you can shoot at them. But for me, this right here is my favorite spot. You can also run over here. You could just stand right in front of the door behind this truck and just keep shooting them. Just find the spot that you like. And it's not a really big deal because there is a good chance that they just will come out of the doors randomly. So don't sweat it too much. So what you want to do is come up against this wall right here. You can climb in this little cubby hole right here. You can stand against this wall right here. But for the most part, I just go up against this wall right here. Because if you look at the map, we are right outside of the bounty zone, which is right here. So let's go over to the bounties. We zoom in, you can see the little zone for the bounties, and we are literally right outside of the zone of the bounties. That's why we're able to get it to spawn. And if you look, the enemies are literally right in front of you. And you can just start taking them out. Where are they? Reload, baby. You could pick up the loot now, or you could just go back against this wall. Open up the bounties again. Select a different bounty. And there we go again, right in front of us. We're just going to take them out. Come against this wall. Oh no, I didn't kill him in one shot. Oh, I got the exposure, that's why. Can I transfer it? Yep, there we go. Transfer the exposure. Got him. Oh, we got a chonga. Get that. Ooh, got the exposure. Nice. I think the defender drone took out my freaking headhunter stacks. Don't mind this part. Normally, I would just shoot his helmet off right away if I messed that up. Alrighty, just like that. Only took a second for him because I messed up my headhunter determinant combo. And like I said earlier, if you want to set up the world like I have it set up, you could also go to the west end, and all these bounties are actually going to go to the same spot. Let me switch over to this gun. It's challenging. I'm legally blind. Alright, they are all down. Let's start the next bounty. You can see how fast I'm running through them. But if you have a different build, you might even do it better. So just play whatever build you like to play with. They did me dirty. They gave me a chunk off the rip, huh? Transfer the exposure. If you got multiple agents, you guys can post up 2 and 2 in front of the doors. That way you can just go through it a lot quicker than this. What? Oh, I thought she reached me with the flamethrowers. That homeboy in the back. Where is this last guy? Oh man, he would get me on fire, huh? Dang, they're trying to kill me. They got everybody out. Alrighty, you can keep doing this until you are out of bounties, and then your teammates can keep doing it until they're out of bounties, and you can just do all the bounties literally in this one spot. Alright, d.a.g, let me know if you found this portion of the guide helpful. Let's go to the next part. For this part, we're going to talk about doing control points, especially if you are brand new to the game. You want to do the control points because if you do at least alert level 3 or 4 control point, it is guaranteed to drop you a weapon modification blueprint, and you definitely want to collect as many of those blueprints. That way you have more options to select to equip on your weapons. For this demonstration, I have my world set to hard. Another reason for doing control points is for the resources that are around those control points, and these are the 3 control points that have the most resources around them. You have solar farm, and this whole block right here has a bunch of resources, and a strategy that you can do to find those resources easier. Talk to the control point officer and donate enough materials to activate that little ring that shows you where the materials are nearby, and that way when you're running around here you'll be able to see where the resources are even easier. Haunted house is also another control point. It has a lot of materials around it. especially if you jump out the backside and run around the alleys over here. And the mess also has a lot of resources around it, especially in all the little buildings and little alleyways in this area over here. Right now I have my world tier set to hard, and the difficulty of the control points are tied into the difficulty of your world tier. So right now the alert level is 2, and you can raise that alert level by doing the activities tied to that control point. For example, New Venice, you can see these little red lines that lead to it, and all you have to do is follow the little red line right here. And you can tell that this public execution is tied to this control point right here. So to raise the alert level of New Venice, you can do this public execution right here, and you can see that little +1, and that's how many levels it will raise the alert for it. You can do black tusk activities without worrying about raising the alert level of any control points, as they are not tied to any. There are certain activities like elite resource convoys that will raise the alert level of the control point by 2 points, like you can see right here, as well as elite patrols and elite territory patrols will also raise the alert level by 2. So let's go ahead and do Riverside gas station. But first, I'm going to do this territory control here to raise the alert level so you can see it in action. And if you have this classified assignment unlocked, you can fast travel to it. If you don't have the classified assignment unlocked, all you have to do is find a door to it, walk up to it, and interact with it. Once you interact with it, it will unlock it. You don't actually have to beat it. And you want to go ahead and unlock all of the classified assignments because you can use them all for fast travel points. And having access to more fast travel points means you can fast travel around the map and do activities quicker. Now that I finished the territory control, take a look at the screen when I complete it. You get a message that the alert level increased to level 3. And there it is. Now it's level 3. Now let's compare them. So you can see the alert level 2 gives you 235,000 experience. You get green tier crafting materials, and you get some field recon data. But when the alert level goes up, now you get 358,000 experience. Additionally, the rarity of the crafting materials went to blue, and you also get the field recon data. So let's go ahead and finish it. When you do the control points, you have the option of shooting the flare right away, which will instantly spawn the reinforcements to start running to you. But also means once you finish the attack phase of the control point, the defend phase is going to start instantly. Alternatively, you can delay the firing of the flare until after you finish the attack phase, which will give you the option when the defense phase starts, allowing you to go grab ammo, heal up, and do whatever else you want to do until you start it. And once you're in a position you want to be and ready to start, you can shoot the flare and the defense phase will start right away. For me personally, I always start off by firing the flare. And because I shot the flare right away, the reinforcements showed up in time for the defense phase. Oops. Not paying attention, I got blown up. 3 hugs for me. And because I shot the flare right away, once I finished the defense phase, the reinforcements are already here, instantly unlocking the supply room. So let's go ahead and grab the supply room. And inside the supply room, there's always going to be a bunch of resource bags. So you could go ahead and grab those if you want the resources. Oop, it looks like I got an exotic component out of there. Or a holster, nice. Now that the control point is under our control, you could go to the control point officer, and when you speak to them, you can now donate resources. And when you donate enough resources, you can activate detection. And like I said before, this is going to show you where the resources are when they're nearby. And what detection does is shows you when the resources are nearby. And it's going to look something like this. Whatever cash or material bag it is going to glow and flash like that. making it easier to spot and find the resources you're looking for. Another cool thing about doing control points, there's a small chance that rogue agents are going to show up once you complete the defense phase. If the rogue agents do show up, you're going to get a message from your watch saying rogue agents detected, and their theme music is going to cut on, so you'll definitely know the rogue agents are coming. And you will have to beat those rogue agents before you get access to the supply room and get access to the control point officer. When you have a control point under your control, certain activities are going to start to spawn more frequently, and those activities are going to be hostage rescues similar to the public executions. There's going to be one for target practice, and also there's a chance for supply drops to happen as well. Alrighty, DAGs, that's all for this portion. Let's go on to the next. For this part, we are going to be doing the summit, and it's right over here. If you hover over the icon for the summit and press down, you can change the targeted loot to whatever you are looking for. Say you are looking for St. Elmo's, you will set the targeted loot to assault rifles, and this will allow a greater chance for bonus drops alongside other drops to be a assault rifle, hence increasing the chance for the St. Elmo exotic to drop, or any other exotic assault rifle or named item that's in your loot pool. So let's go ahead and select assault rifles. Now we're going to head into the summit, and the cool thing about the summit is that at the lobby there is everything you need. You can sell whatever you have in your inventory. They got a crafting station, a matchmaking station, they got the tinkering station, and they also have your stash here that you can access. Now let's head over to the elevator. When you interact with it, it's going to open up the menu. Go to the settings. Now set the difficulty to whatever you want to play. And for the sake of the video, I'm just going to put it on challenging. And for a side note, if you're looking for the bighorn, you can run legendary, because the only way to get the bighorn is for a named legendary NPC to drop it. Or you can get it if it drops for one of the agents you are playing for and they drop it to you. And once you do acquire the bighorn, either from dropping on legendary content or one of your agents in your party dropping for you, it will then enter your exotic loot pool so it can drop normally. Now let's head back. Let's go to directives, and here is a multitude of different directives that you can activate for the summit. And the cool thing about directives, they will give you more XP when you farm with them on, and each active directive slightly increases the chance for a targeted loot item to drop alongside a normal loot drop, like I stated earlier. Now select whatever directives you like to play with. Normally if I'm playing solo, I'll put more on if I'm looking for a specific item. That way I have a greater chance for the loot to drop. It will be totally up to you and what kind of build you have on when you are farming, so proceed accordingly to what your build is. And once you have the directive set up, hit square. It's going to bring you back to this menu, and then hit X to apply the changes. And if you open up your map, you can also press down here to change out your targeted loot, and you can do this at any point when you're inside of the summit, even if you're on a active floor. You can also tab over to matchmaking, select summit, and you could change the difficulty on the floor you're on, or if you select the difficulty that you currently are on, it's going to start matchmaking. Back at the all menu, you can toggle the see all directives button, and here it will give you a quick description of what directives are active and what they do. Also, don't forget about the challenges that you can do at the summit, so let's toggle over to challenges. And when you complete challenges, you do get challenge rewards. You can look on the right side for the challenge reward tracker, and you can scroll down and see what rewards you'll give. And the more challenges that you complete, the better the rewards will be. And you want to complete as many challenges as you can before you face the hunters on the floor 100 and beat them. Because once you do beat the hunters on floor 100, it will reset and you have to start again from rank 1. And there's two different types of challenges that you can select, and you can pick them at any time, even if you're on an active floor in the summit. You have the tactical challenge and the ascent challenges, and each category has a different types of challenges that you can complete. And for them to count, they have to be actively selected. That way you'll gain whatever you need to complete that specific challenge that you have selected. And these are the different challenges for the ascent, and the same thing as before, they have to be actively selected to count. And there are different strategies you can select to complete them. For example, you don't want to have complete a boss floor without an agent being down if you're not actively on a boss floor. So while you are not on the boss floor, you can put a different challenge on, like for this one, complete 3 floors without losing all your armor. So definitely take a look at what all the different challenges are and set up a gameplay when you are playing. There are tons of different ways and variations that you can complete these challenges more efficiently efficiently, just take a look at what they are and set up a plan. You could also track your challenges on screen by holding L3. And if you want to change anything before you continue, you can open up the menu again and just go through the settings again and make sure you apply them. You can also reset the checkpoint that you are on. Say if you are on like floor 99 but you don't want to be on floor 99, you could hold the reset checkpoint button and it'll take you back to floor 1, and it'll also reset whatever challenges that you have completed back to 0. Now let's take a look at C threat scaling, and here is going to give you a quick description on what to expect on the different floors, and you can see how many bosses are going to be on the boss floor. So on the boss floors from 10 to 60 there is 1 boss. Boss floor 70 and 80 there are 2 bosses, and finally the boss floor 90 has 3 bosses. And for the final floor 100, that's where the hunters are. If you're playing solo, there will be 2 hunters, but depending on how many agents you have in your party, there will be 1 additional hunter for each additional agent in your party. Also, as you get deeper into the summit, there are going to be lieutenant squads, which means there's going to be a chance for there to be a named enemy as well. And you can see that they tend to be on the 3rd, 6th, and 9th floors on whatever floor section that you are currently on. And also on the 3rd, 6th, and 9th floors, there's going to be a cache there at the end. So keep your eye out on a key that's going to be hidden somewhere when you are playing in the summit, because you will require to have that key to open up that cache. Now take a look at that picture on the screen while I explain this next part to you. In order to get Ridgeway's prize, you need to collect 5 different components, and there is a specific component tied to a 20 floor spread. So you want to collect 1 of each of those components from each of those floor spreads, and once you have all 5 of those components and you beat the hunters, you're going to unlock the project for Ridgeway's Pride. And once you complete the project and get the components required, you'll be able to craft Ridgeway's Pride. And after you craft it for the first time, it will enter your exotic loot pool, so it'll just drop normally. And another way to get it is if you're playing with another agent and they get it, they could drop it for you. And that way also the Ridgeway's Pride will enter your exotic pool without having to complete the summit project to craft it. If you want to check what components you have for the Ridgeway's Pride, you can go to the resources and you can scroll down to this area right here, and you can look at all the components that you have, and they only drop from opening up those caches. So make sure you find those keys and open up those caches on the 3rd, 6th, and 9th floors. And I believe you also can get the capacitor for the first time by completing a certain amount of challenges here in the summit. I don't remember for sure, but I think it was listed over here on this reward panel tracker. If anybody knows for sure, please post that in the comment. I don't remember 100% for sure how you get it, but I'm pretty sure you get it by completing a certain amount of challenges. Alrighty, agents, I think we are ready to go in. Once we spawn in, you go and get a message, and you can see that I'm on floor 90. There's 3 hostile lieutenants detected. There are a bunch of different boss floors that you can spawn into, which will keep it fresh, so that way you're not farming the same thing over and over again. And the key thing is that you don't mess up your checkpoint for the floor that you're currently on. Depending on how many bosses you're fighting, when you are fighting the last boss, make sure you only kill the boss and don't kill all the other NPCs. And the reason being is if you kill all the NPCs, you're going to complete that floor and you're going to get a new checkpoint. And to prevent that from happening, try to kill as few NPCs alongside the last boss. So what I personally do, I'll just only go for the last boss, and once I do take him down, I'll just go and pick up the loot. And all you have to do is just open up the map and hold square really quick, and it does not matter if you're in combat and getting shot at, it will bring you back to the lobby instantly. And all you'll have to do is just go back to the elevator and do it over and over again. Alrighty, let's go clear this area. Here's the boss. He's hiding over here, it looks like. Got his loot. So in between killing bosses, there's going to be random ads coming out as well. And so keep an eye out and get a mental note on how many named bosses you killed. Alright, second boss is out. Pick up the loot. Here's the random mob. Alright, last boss is out. Kill him. Pick up whatever loot you need. If you have any back here, run back here, pick them up, open up the map, hold square, and we'll go back to the lobby. And just like that, all you have to do is run back to the elevator, open up the menu, and change any of the settings if you want to change them here. But we're just going to continue. Cue in elevator music. Da 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 da. Alrighty. Oh man, not a big fan of this boss room because you have to run so far. But a cool thing about it is there is going to be a locked room here where you can get some extra loot. Here we go. But once you do get to the area, they do only spawn out of one door as well, making it really easy. But the boss does come out of random doors, so keep that in mind. First boss. Pick up the loot if you can. That way you don't have to worry about it at the end. Oh, somebody snuck back here, huh? Second boss out. Pick up the loot if you can. Alright, we got the last boss, so pick up the loot. Open the menu and hold square to go back to the lobby. It's as easy as that to do the summit farm. Let me know if you have any questions for this part, so let's head to the next portion. For this section, I'm going to talk about Countdown and why I farm Countdown. I won't go into too much detail about how to play Countdown because that's going to take a whole video for that. So I'll just give you the quick rundown for it. To get to Countdown, you can talk to the pilot and select Countdown. Here you can select the difficulty that you want to play, but for the most part, everybody runs challenging, as the drop quality will be good enough. Then you'll be able to run through it a lot quicker than if you were playing on heroic. But it's totally up to you on which difficulty you want to play. Me personally, I always play challenging. You can create a Countdown if you want to invite up to 7 different agents to play with you. And this is how you can set up 8-man clan runs if you want to. Or you can go straight into matchmaking. For this, I'm just going to create the Countdown. And once you create it, you can open up your social tab right here. And you will see who is here. And this is the only time you can invite anybody. And the only person who can invite is going to be the group leader. And once you have a full party and you are the group leader, make sure you hold the start countdown button. If you are starting a countdown and you already have people in your party, make sure you check this menu to see if you are made the group leader. That way you don't keep people waiting if you become the group leader without knowing. When you're done with the countdown, you will end up coming back to DC. When you're done with the countdown, and depending on how many dog tags you collected, you will get a currency that you can spend for countdown. You can come to this table right here. And here you can buy named items and a bunch of different caches. So this is definitely a great way to get some named item caches and exotic caches as well. Just like for the summit, if you hover over the countdown icon and press down, you can select the targeted loot for whatever you are looking for. For say, if you're looking for the St. Elmo's engine, you can set the targeted loot to assault rifles. That way you will have a greater chance to have assault rifles drop alongside the normal loot. And because you reduce the targeted loot to assault rifles, that will greatly increase the chances of dropping an exotic assault rifle as well. While not guaranteeing you will get the St. Elmo's, you will have a greater chance of getting any of the exotic assault rifles that are in your exotic loot pool for assault rifles. Assault rifles, assault rifles, assault rifles. Yes, I said it like 25 times in 1 minute. It is especially beneficial to run countdown when you're looking for any type of gear set or brand set, because you will be facing a large amount of named enemies and regular enemies and hunters. And those named enemies and hunters are going to have a greater chance of dropping named items. So if you are looking for a specific brand named item, just put it to that brand, and running countdown will greatly increase the chances of you getting it. I especially like to run countdown when I'm looking for a specific gear set, just from the volume of enemies you're going to be fighting in such a short period of time. More than likely you're going to end up with multiple pieces for that gear set, and if you are lucky, you might complete whatever gear set you are looking for in like 1 or 2 runs. So make sure you pray to the RNG goddess to increase your success. Alrighty, that concludes my countdown section. Let's go to the next. For this portion, we are going to go through Keenly College. If you want to see a more in-depth guide to this farm, you can watch the particular video that I made for this farm. For this specific farm to work, it has to be done in story mode. We will initially start it on any difficulty to unlock the master modifier that drop. That way, when we switch back to story mode, it will carry over to story mode. So the enemies will be affected by that drop even on story mode. Just run in. Open up your map, switch it back to story mode, and now we're just going to run through it. We're going to interact with this echo, go to the left. First key is right here. It's going to go automatically into your inventory. Now we're going to go to the second key. This right here is the OG spot, but it doesn't work anymore. Interact with this to get the second key. Make sure you pick it up. Like I said, this used to be the OG spot, but they put a banner here, and now the enemies do spawn randomly. So we're just going to run over here and start the encounter. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to skip past this. Now that the room is cleared, let's go to the next part. You can come over here if you need ammo. This is the second part. Now we're going to interact with this. As you can see, the enemies are exploding even on story mode. Now that this part is done, we're going to swap over to our oxidizer build. Here it is for a quick reference for what I'm running for it. And like I said, if you want to see a more closer look at this build breakdown, you can watch the original video. Going to run over here. As soon as you enter, there's a time limit for the enemies to spawn, so you have to do this part quick. We're going to hit the terminals. Remember, you got to go quick. And keep an eye on my level currently. We'll see how many levels I gain. I'm going to climb up here. Pull out your oxidizer. We're going to shoot it in here, up here. Then we're going to turn around. Pop and cover right here. Pull out your oxidizer and start shooting the oxidizers right there. Keep an eye on how many charges you have and limit how many you shoot at a time. That way your frame rates don't die and drop too much. You only really need like 1 or 2 oxidizers to get them killed, and the explosive drops will take care of the rest of the ads. At the 3-minute mark, a Chonka is going to spawn under us, so you want to start shooting oxidizers here. In a couple of seconds, he's going to pop out. And these oxidizers will take care of him until he decides to climb up. And he might die before he even gets to that portion. Right, the Chonga is down. I'm just going to be shooting an oxidizer every, 5 or 7, 8 seconds, however many. You don't need that many to take care of them. They're going to die really fast because it is on story mode. And you'll just keep doing this until the timer almost runs out. And when it gets closer to the timer, you're going to shoot a couple oxidizers at your feet to force yourself to respawn. And when you do respawn, you're going to respawn at the last part that you completed instead of at the beginning. That's why you have to do it on story mode, because if you put it on a different difficulty, it'll just respawn you back at the entrance. Already gained 2 levels, it looks like. Not too bad. And if an enemy does get out and starts running to a terminal, make sure you take them out before they activate the terminal, because you'll get like 40 seconds where you have to run out there and gain control of it, and you don't want to do that. If that does happen, just shoot a couple oxidizers at your feet to restart, or you could just let the timer run out and fail the objective the natural way. Frame rates are disappeared. You got 20 seconds left, so make sure you keep your eye on the clock. That way you can shoot the oxidizer at yourself to force yourself to respawn. Alrighty, we got less than 10 seconds, so I'm going to respawn myself. And just like that, we are at this portion again. And I went from 695 to 701, which is really nice. I got 323 multi-kill experience times 100 survivor experience. That's how I'm able to get so many levels doing this. And if you do this with multiple agents, you'll get more enemies to spawn. And for each additional agent, there's going to be additional terminals, so you have to coordinate with who is going to get which terminal. But you want to keep everybody in the same area that I was. That way the enemies will keep spawning in the same location. If you want to do another round, all you have to do is just follow the same path that I did and do the same thing again. And you can keep doing that over and over again until you have the desired amount of levels gained. And if you want, you can go and pick up the loot right before you're done with the farm. They're going to drop right over here. And you can just run up the stairs here. Alrighty, let's head to the next one. For this section, I'm going to talk about priority objectives. To see the priority objectives, open up your menu. Head over to this panel and open it. Then tab over to priority objectives, and you will always have a selection of 3 different objectives. This is a great way to get exotic items, resources, and XP. And each day you're going to have 3 rerolls that automatically refill. And these 3 rolls are specific to your current character, meaning you could hop onto a different agent and then try to do priority objectives there too and reroll them until you get whatever you're looking for. Looking at the panels, you can see what they are. Here we have PvP in Washington, D.C., with the duration saying it's medium, and the reward is resources. Over here we have a mission in Washington, D.C. with the reward an exotic item. And for the third one, we have an activity in Washington, D.C. with the reward exotic item. For the PvP objectives, you'll get stuff like clearing a landmark in the DZ. For the missions, you just gotta run a mission. For the activities, you'll get stuff like running 1 or 2 floors on the summit, doing 1 loop of descent. If you don't like any of the objectives, you can re-roll them. Now we have a new panel for strongholds, and this will be a stronghold mission. And the reward for that one is going to be XP. If you still don't like any of them, you can re-roll again. This time we got an open world objective. And for this one, you can do stuff like doing some territory controls or a public execution. These are the main ones that I like to do because a lot of them are really quick. And to be able to do it, you have to decrypt it. Now that it's decrypted, it's going to tell you exactly what you have to do. And for this one, all we have to do is complete an activity around the White House. You can also track it on the screen if you would like to. So let's go do a quick activity. And for activities, you can do anything from like public executions, you have propaganda broadcasts, and also you could do territory controls. So let's go ahead and do this public execution. I'm going to fast travel to descent. Since I'm here, if you're looking for a hyena lockbox, they have one right here. And out of this, you can get those components to craft the cheddar box. And also when you open up those lock boxes, they do like to drop a Costas Go bag. So if you're looking for a Costas Go bag, make sure to open up as many of those as possible. Once I talk to the hostage and complete the objective, you should see the reward for doing the priority objective. Priority objective complete, I got a tardy grade. Pretty decent, right? Once you're done with the current priority objective, you can open up the menu again, tab over to priority objectives. And because we finished the priority objective, we added a little bit to the reroll meter. Once that meter reaches maximum, we'll have another reroll for that day. And if you're lucky, you might get another open world with an exotic item as the targeted loot. Meaning that doing priority objectives is a pretty decent way to get exotics and get exotic components. So let's decrypt this one. This time complete an activity in Judiciary Square. Doing priority objectives in the open world is a great way to get a lot of XP, especially if you keep getting public executions, because you also get bounties and whatever the reward it is from doing that specific priority objective. Oh, they got a whole peg lady. Come here, peg ladies. Peg lady. One peg lady, two peg lady, three peg ladies. Whoop. Look at them go. Oh, oh, not gonna get me. Whoop. Peg lady, zigzagging them. Oh, they swinging at me, huh? Peg lady, peg lady. Oh, 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 I'm getting beaten to death by peg ladies. Alrighty, enough playing. Oh, where? Ah, my aim. One down. Oop. They're juking me. This is why I don't like facing hyenas with a headshot build. You gotta do this. Let's get that key really quick and finish up the priority objective. Get some extra XP from doing the territory control as well. And let's see what exotic I got. This time I got the capacitor, nice. And like before, let's open up the priority objective menu again. And look at that, we have another open world with an exotic, so let's do that. That's 3 in a row now. Now for this one, we can complete any control points. I'm going to do New Venice because this is one of my favorite control points to do on a one-tap build. They all come out of one spot. I personally like doing New Venice because I can run over here. Climb up here. And if I'm not noticed, I could climb here. Roll up onto this right here and shoot off a flare. Do a little cover to cover real quick. Take care of these guys. They're trying to roll up on me, huh? And they're going to start coming out of this window right here. And I just shoot them as they drop. Alrighty. This time I got BTSU gloves. And when you complete control points, don't forget that you also get this cache in here. You could come in here and open it up. And these do sometimes give you an exotic once in a great while and a chance to get an exotic component when you open them. Alrighty, let's open up our priority objective menu again. Well, that's 4 in a row, so might as well do it. But that is okay. I'm going to abandon it. That's fine. See what else we got. Anything new? I don't like any of these, so I'm going to use my last reroll. And this time, if I want another exotic item, I would have to run a mission. So let's see what it would be. So once I complete Federal Emergency Bunker, I'll end up getting another exotic. One thing to keep in mind that priority objectives are not shared throughout the whole party if you are playing with more people, which kind of sucks because it would be really nice if you guys could all do the same priority objective and it counts for everybody. Would make farming for them really worthwhile if you're in a 4-man group. Hopefully, if enough of us make a fuss to change it into a group type of priority objective thing and make it available for everybody to share the same reward. Alrighty, DAGs, that's it for this part. Let's go to the next one. For this part, we're going to talk about doing projects on multiple characters, which is overlooked by a lot of new players. And what I mean by that is if you open up your map and tab over to projects, you can see that you have a season pass project if you bought the season pass. You'll have the daily project. You'll have a weekly project as well. You'll have one legendary mission project. You'll have a weekly requisitioning project, a weekly summit project, a weekly descent project, a daily PvP project, and a weekly PvP project. If you have access to the season pass project, these give you 1 level when you complete them, plus a bounty and an equipment item. Doing the daily projects is a great way to get exotic components. The weekly projects gives you a named item cache, 3 exotic components, 1 level's worth of XP, and a bunch of other rewards when you complete it. Doing the weekly summit gives you an exotic cache and some XP. If you do the descent, you get a comms. So just take a look at the projects and see what the rewards are and make sure you do the ones that you want to do. And the cool thing about the projects is that they are linked to your character. Meaning if you have 4 agents, you can do all the same projects on them. And you'll receive the rewards for each individual agent that you finish it on. So this is definitely an easy way to get a lot of XP, named item caches, exotic caches on all 4 of your agents each week. And if you don't want to run the missions constantly, at least do the weekly requisitioning. This is one super simple. You just got to donate a bunch of different stuff. If you currently only have 1 agent, it's really easy to get the other 3 agents up to level 40 and to unlock these projects. You no longer have to even go into New York anymore to unlock the watch. You just got to get to level 40. And once you unlock your watch, when you reach level 40, you'll get access to all these projects as well. When you make a new character, you can boost them straight to New York and become level 30. When you become level 30, you'll get access to specific blueprints and you could come over to your crafting tables and talk to her. And there will be a blueprint that you can buy to share your resources. And what that means is all the resources that you have on this character and any other character that has bought that blueprint will be shared. So all your different weaves and components are going to be shared. There are exceptions to stuff that you cannot share, like the supplies right here. And these components that you use to craft exotic items will not be shared throughout the characters either, but the exotic components will be shared. And also the trinkets will not be shared throughout their accounts. They're going to be specific to that agent. Keys will also not be shared. These will be locked to that specific agent. Alrighty, DAGs, that's all for doing projects on all 4 of your agents. Let's go to the next part. For this section, I am going to go over the Hoarder, aka the Loot Goblin, as some people like to call him. You especially want to farm the Hoarder during certain events like the Easter event that's going on right now, because the Hoarder will drop certain items that he won't normally drop. And the list of those items is going to be the Chill Out Mask, Passive Deliveries, the Slayer, Oak Carol. We also have the Harvest, the Cooler, First Sight. That's off the top of my head, but let me know if I missed anything. So there's going to be a lot of spots on the map where the Hoarder shows up. My favorite spot is going to be right outside of Jefferson Trade Center. Let's go see if he pops out. And the way you know the Hoarder is coming out is your screen is going to flash red and you're going to hear the sewer grates open that he comes out of. So let's run over here to the left first, because he might come out of right there. If not, he'll come out of right there. You saw the screen flash. He came up behind me. So let's kill him. And when you look at the loot, he dropped the Slayer. You can pick it up. And what you can do right now is just log out and log back in. And by logging out and logging back in, that's how you restart the cooldown. And he'll be able to spawn right away. Otherwise, if you kill him, I'm not too sure what the cooldown is. But if you do know it, post that in the comments. It'll be something cool to know. Now let's see if he comes out again. Yep, he came out over here. Let's see what he got this time. This time we got passive deliveries. It's quicker to fast travel here than to actually run to it. But if you're on an older console, it might be quicker just to run over here from the safe house. That way you don't have to go through another load screen. Check here. Didn't come out. Keep an eye on the menu map. There we go. Screen flashed. He came out. This time we got the Chill Out Mask. There are plenty of other spots, but I just go to this one mainly. As this spot right here is the one that he usually shows up for me the most in. And it seems like he shows up here the most for other streamers and other gamers. Here we go. Faster deliveries again. Log out. And you definitely want to farm him during these events to get those named items that you wouldn't get otherwise, because you can actually donate those items to raise the proficiency, and this will help build up your expertise to a higher level. And this will allow you to save more of your resources without having to donate all the resources to raise your proficiency in these items, as they do drop. Oh yeah, snow machines also drop. I missed that one. So just keep going to this spot over and over and over again. And if he doesn't spawn here, you have a couple options. You can just log back out and log back in and check here again. But a couple other spots that I go to is right here, the fast travel Capitol building. You're going to look to your right, jump over here, jump over this fence, and he'll come out of right here. You'll know if he's coming out when you get to this point usually. If he doesn't come out, another spot that I check is going to be the DZ South main entrance. Just turn around and run right over here. I usually check the right side first. There's a bunch of sewer entrances over here that he'll come out of. And then I'll run over here. And if at this point, if he's not running to you, I'm just going to leave. I'll go check another spot. And then this is another spot that I'll check. So you can either run there first, or you could run over here first because he spawns around this area. So I'll just turn around. I'll run this route right here to see if he'll come out over. And then I'll run over here. And usually by this point, he'll come out from over there. There's a sewer grate up here. He'll pop out from right there. And a thing to keep in mind is that if there are enemies around, more than likely he won't come out. So that's about it for the hoarder section. So let's go on to the next. For this section, I'm going to talk about the 2 secret shops that open up when you find a snitch. And once you find the snitch, he's going to reveal the locations of those 2 secret shops. There are multiple locations to find a snitch, but this right here is the first spot that I usually check. And when you load over here, we're going to run up here. And if he is here, he'll be standing by this broken down vehicle. The next spot that I always check is right outside of Space HQ. When you load, just turn around. And we're going to run inside of this building. And usually you could tell he's going to be in there because you see the little green arrow pointing to him. And he'll be standing inside of this elevator right here. The next spot that I check is going to be outside of the mass control point. The fast travel to the shop. Run up these stairs over here. And he's going to be right outside of this control point. And if he's here, he'll be standing over here on this balcony. Another spot that you can check is going to be the American History Museum. We're going to go to the right. And he should be outside of this little hut. And he'll be standing over here. Another spot that you could also check is going to be behind Tidal Basin. We'll run over here to the left side. And if he's here, he'll be standing right in here. And another spot that you can check is going to be right outside of the Dark Zone South Gulf. Exit the checkpoint. We're going to run straight ahead. And he'll be standing over here. Another spot that you can check is going to be outside of the Jefferson Trade Center. Since we're here, might as well check for the hoarder. Alrighty, he's going to be coming down the corridor. Hey, buddy, what you got for me this time? Chill out, mask again. Nice. I'm going to come over here. He'll be in here. And as you can see that I checked a bunch of spots and he was in none of the locations right now. I have noticed that that does happen to me time to time on certain agents. So what you can do is swap your agents. Now that we swapped our agents, let's go check the spots again. Turn around and you can see that little green arrow right there. That's him. And there he is.
Got some new contracts.
So when you do find him, interact with him. He's going to drop a bounty and he's going to reveal the locations of the 2 secret shops. Quick tip for bounties: if you don't want to do them, hover over them, go to details and hit abort bounty and it will save it for later. Now look around the map to see the locations of the 2 shops. There we go. We have Cassie right here and we have Danny Weaver over here. You can see right now that the vendor is closed. They aren't open every single day. So you want to make sure that you do check it out on a Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday. And when they are open, just head over to them. Danny will usually have at least one exotic cache, sometimes multiples. He'll have named item caches and other caches that you can buy with the textile credits. And what I mean by the textile credits is if you go over here and you can see that the textiles are those yellow credits and you get them from opening up these caches. And when you get a duplicate, you're going to get textile credits instead. You can see it's a duplicate skin, so I got 100 textiles for it. And a quick way to open up these really fast is you're going to want to hold open cache, then tab over as soon as it opens. So hit your tab and tab right back to it. And this way you can open them up a lot faster than having to sit through all the cutscenes. And for the other vendor, Cassie, she's going to have named items for sale alongside other high-end weapons and gear sets and brand sets, alongside a few options for the armor mods and skill mods. And if you have unlocked the Hunter Killer chest piece and the Shield Splinter assault rifle, she'll also have those available for purchase. And like the other vendors, she will reset weekly. Alrighty, agents, that's all for the secret vendors section. Alrighty, Dags, I hope the video helped. If any of this video helped, make sure to give it a like, drop a comment of which section is your favorite, and if you got any cool tips or farming techniques, please let us know in the comments as well. Definitely find the technique that works the best for you and which one you have the most fun with. And if you're subscribed to the channel, thank you for subscribing. And if you're not yet subscribed, please take a second to subscribe. That way you can stay up to date to all my upcoming videos. And I want to say thank you to the community for supporting my channel. You guys are awesome. That's all for now, and I'll catch you at the next one.